If you're a supporter of the channel, you know that Memo African Leather is one of my favorite leather fragrances in my collection. Absolutely incredible. What some people may not know is that the brand Memo also makes a ton of other leather fragrances. So I got a sample over from Michael over at Bergdorf, shout out to you homie, who sent me a Memo leather fragrance that I haven't smelled as of yet, and that's Memo's Irish Leather. My nose is not familiar with this scent, but I'm beyond curious. Now I hold Memo African Leather in a very high pedestal point when it comes to sexy leather fragrances. Irish Leather get itself in the upper echelons of leather within my collection. Only one way to find out. Let's roll my music so we can check out Memo's Irish Leather. Hope it's like Irish whiskey.
We're all alone. Yeah, that's friends from the south side. In case you cared, out of all your friends, I want to be Cuba.
Listen, one of my beautiful peoples, you know who it is. It's your boy, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yo, Memo's got leathers, bro. They got Iberian leather, French leather, African leather, Italian leather, and Irish leather. Fresh out of the mailbox, this little joint right here, I've never smelled it before, haven't even looked up the notes. I just know I'm a fan of the Memo fragrances, and African leather isn't the only sexy leather fragrance within their lineup, but it's the one that stands out for me the most based on my skin and my personal taste. Now, Irish leather, I don't know the note breakdown. I'm very curious about it, so let's look at the notes first before I start to dig my nose up in this piece. Alright, so according to Fragrantica, the notes are as follows. It opens up with leather, obviously, juniper berry, mate, amber, and tonka bean. Simplistic, usually points me in the direction of I'm gonna like this joint, but thinking like mentally like mate, leather, and juniper berry. So we're gonna have an element of a green herbaceous freshiness with Memo's traditional like really dark rich leather nuances, I assume. But ain't nothing to it but to do it. See, Irish leather for me, I don't think has a ton of hype on it. So probably you can bag it up on a gray market for a cheaper price point. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but let's see if it's even worth for me to cop myself a bottle. Let's go. Ooh, okay. Juniper berry punches you in the face with this really herbaceous, ginish type note with the leather right behind it and this musky, punchy, airy, ozonic energy about it. Like, this is 100% a fragrance I gotta let chill and not dig my nose into it, because I could already see off the test strip the type of like, abrasiveness that this fragrance has, which leads me to believe that performance will not be an issue with this scent, and that's me profiling. All right, I'm gonna have to go on skin. This is really like abrupt. It almost smells like the vague woodiness of like Molecule 01, how it would supposed to be smelling like if it had potency, it smells like a strong, punchy, sandalwoodish kind of molecule. It's just like really fucking strong, just maybe a little bit too strong. I want more of the leather nuance, but it's the test strip though. Those test strips are kind of funny too. They just really soak up. They're very spongy. Let me let this kind of chill out on the skin and see how the skin truly translates this scent. I can definitely tell you off the test strip, first impressions is I'm getting a very prominent juniper berry with a secondary leather that makes itself known, but the sharpness of that synthetic-y kind of energy is a little bit too aggressive for my personal taste, but let's see what it does on skin. Here we go. Shit, it's really sharp. It's really fucking sharp. It is, holy f. It reminds me a little bit of Le Labo's Bay 19 with that sharp opening. It gives me Le Labo-ish sharpness. There's a lot of like chemical punch on the opening of this fragrance that is not for the weak or for the faint of heart. This has to be a fragrance that I could really break down at the true dry down of the scent, because smelling it in the beginning is really kind of throwing me off. It's too sharp. It's a little bit extra potent. The juniper berry here is just really burning, almost chemical wise, my nose. Like, I could see the beauty in the fragrance. Like, I'm gonna have to peel it open like the layers of an onion or just a really broken down kitty. Labia meat.
Oh my.
But I mean, one thing I can tell you is that it's chilling. Those couple of sprays, they're definitely making its presence known, and not in a favorable way. It's still very fucking chemical, scratchy. God damn. Shit. Let me come back to it and let it fully dry down before I like, get turned on.
Later.
All right, your boy's back, full dry down on this fragrance. I have not put my nose to it. I have been able to smell the fragrance just hovering around me. And I was getting different nuances while not trying to dig my nose into it so I can give the true impressions of the dry down to y'all and we can experience it together. There is a vegetal kind of synthetic Bay 19 juniper berry strong presence in this fragrance that is giving me a mild headache. It's giving me a little bit of a, oof, this is so fucking sharp and strong, which is not necessarily making me all that happy. I am getting leathery nuances, and this is a very interesting take on a fresh leather, but it's aggressive. Let's see how it's dried down on the skin, and hopefully like it's redeemed itself a little bit, but I don't know. Okay, definitely a lot smoother, a lot more rounded, definitely cleaner, way more tolerable. The leather here is really brilliantly done. Like, it's gorgeous and it's consistent with Memo's like sexy ass leather energy, but the sharpness is still there. Although better, it's kind of producing a little bit of like a trauma to my nose and how I feel about this scent. So for me, I don't personally feel that's a full bottle cop from my taste. I like the leather. I wish the leather, it was more of the star as opposed to whatever juniper berry kind of DNA is in this fragrance that's kind of turning me off to the scent. Yeah, unfortunately for me, it is not a ball sprayer. It got a lot better, trust me. And maybe I'll throw an insert if I feel much better after this full day wear. But as of right now, on this full dry down, I'm gonna say unfortunately, it's not a full bottle cop for me. It's going to be a very harsh, punchy, bright, scratchy leather with a lot of freshness, and there is beauty in the fragrance if you're willing to kind of deal with it and go through those layers. But for a fragrance in this particular price point with this kind of prestige, I mean, it's definitely not even touching African leather for me, and that's pure biased, but it's also not moving me and enticing me to get a full presentation. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are on Irish leather and which one do you think outside of African leather in the Memo lineup that is absolute perfection. Leave it in the comments below. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is. Biggest in the game. Smooches.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.